like where you want to go next. So I decided to move to Canada because I look at it and weighted all of them and saw that Canada is easy. If you're able to come here, your documentation will be faster and easier than being in the United States on the H-1B.
Wow, I'm happy you mentioned H-1B because some few weeks ago I did a video on H-1B, how Canada introduced a new work permit program targeting H-1B visa holders in the United States. Yeah. Guess what? They opened it on I believe on the 16th of July for people to apply. People who have H-1Bs from the US to apply. Within 48 hours, they recorded 10,000 applications from the US. That is how serious people are targeting Canada from the US, all right? Yes. And my understanding is that there is a crazy backlog in terms of the number of people who are on the H-1B, several thousands or probably hundreds of thousands who are on the H-1B in the US and have a very difficult transition from H-1B to getting your green card. Is it difficult transitioning from the H-1B to a green card or permanent residence in the US? Is it difficult?
Well, it will be, but like, so I did not go that route, but what put me off was the timeline, because it will take you a minimum of, let's say, 5 years if you're lucky, and then your employer have good lawyers and have those links to help you. You could get it within 3 years, but like a minimum of 5 years. So I saw that to be like a very long wait time, and it's not, you know, visas application is not 100% guarantee.
Okay, so let me get it right. 3 to 5 years, depending on whether you have a good lawyer or your employer, blah, blah, blah. Is that to transition from J1 to H1B or to transition from H1B to green card?
That is H1B to green card.
So that's a wait time.
J1 to H1B, what you need is to get the waiver waived off, and then the waiver could be waived off. Your embassy or your country have to say they have no objection for you living, like staying in the United States. So if they get that letter for you, and that takes a long time, it could take about 9 months. So if you plan to go that route, you need to start that application early. So if you get that waiver, there are other schools who are ready to employ you and then give you the H-1B. That doesn't take a longer time so far as you have the waiver.
Okay. All right. You are watching Chorkor Millionaire, seated right here with Joshua Ansah, who is a teacher from Ghana. And I didn't mention this. He also has a YouTube channel. He also has a Facebook page. And all he does, tell us about your YouTube channel, your Facebook. What is the name? And what do you do on there?
The name is Life App 201. All I do there is to educate prospective applicants who want to go to the United States and work as a teacher, as I did, or go to study, and those who want to come to Canada and work or even study. And then at times I put some of the crazy things I do around in Canada today.
Yeah, crazy things. This one, I'm not sure whether this one will be a crazy thing. I found it very enjoyable. I enjoyed it. 2 weeks ago, you were kayaking in Canada. Tell us about that. On the lake, you were kayaking. I saw the video.
Yeah, and that was my first time, and even I don't know how to swim. So it was very dangerous adventure that I took. So the school that I'm teaching in, before we vacate, we went 2 days to the lake to have some fun.
I see.
So I just hopped onto the kayak, and then they said, "Oh, it's simple, you could do." And then I enjoyed it, and it was very simple too. A very big lake. I was at the middle, and then I wasn't scared. It was very easy and simple.
All right. Now let's talk about Canada. You definitely made a choice because you said Canada was better in terms of getting your papers, it means immigration papers and all of that. How did you go with your? I mean, people come in different ways to Canada. Did you use a visitor's visa? Did you use a student visa? Did you apply for permanent residency? Did you come through a humanitarian Canada government initiative? Tell us, what was your path to coming to Canada?
Okay, so my path was through permanent residency, PNP. That is provincial nominee program.
Provincial nominee program. Which province?
Yeah, BC.
British Columbia. But we have Vancouver. All right. Do you mind taking us through the process? If you can just run us through what exactly you had to do.
So what I did that paved the way for me is I initially did my teaching certificate in Canada whilst I was in the United States. And then I applied for a job online. I got the offer letter, and then I applied for the PMP, and then I was nominated. So that is that would be the simplest. That is the process, but each of them entails a lot
more, and we definitely don't want to take it to a podcast of 2 hours. But hey, guys, I'm going to encourage you to, if you check him out, check out his YouTube channel, Life App 201, Life App, LIFE UP 201, Life App 201. He's on YouTube. Check him out. He has a lot of content where he takes more time to explain how he did everything he did. He had to use his teaching experience as a teacher. You also heard him say that he did his Canada teacher certification thing whilst he was in the US. I'll ask him to briefly tell us about that. What do you mean? You can briefly tell us. How did you do it?
Okay,
the teaching certification from US whilst you were in US for Canada.
So, not like Ghana, that our teaching certificate is for everybody, like all the nation. But over here, each province have their teaching certificate, and you need that certificate before you could teach. So what I did is I chose Ontario first. So I have certificate for Ontario as well. I chose Ontario because if you're coming to Canada, everybody know it's Ontario, it's Toronto, it's Toronto.
Yeah.
So I did that. I just went to their website, which is Ontario OTC, Ontario Teachers College. Their website, applied for a certificate as an international applicant. So you have to go through a whole lot of documentations. They will assess your credentials, and it takes long, almost a year. It's the same as BC. I did the same thing for BC. So what I did is, after the application, Ontario application was, yes, it was in, and then I was Humpty. And they said, well, so you need to do the BC certification. So I have to start that one too as well. But unfortunately, the school was using LMIA, and then denied it. They paid their $1,000, and then they were denied the LMIA. So they couldn't continue with me. And then, you see, at times you have to be reading and watching some of these videos from what Chorkor is doing and what some of us are also doing. If I've had much info, I would have known how to go about it, because we could have done it without even using the LMIA. But I didn't know much information on that. So that went off. So now I have BC, I have Ontario, and I continue my search. If you say I did express entry, it did not work. I wrote my IELTS and then put in express entry. It was not working. I tried like a whole lot of route, and then it was not working, because you get to a point and then they need something, you don't have it. So you have to forget about it. And then this one worked out, the PMP, because PMP, their requirement is lower than the express entry.
That's true.
That works. So that is how that works. So you can apply for your certification if you're a teacher, even if you're in Ghana, if you're in Nigeria, wherever you are, just go to the province website and apply for your certification. Some of them may not accept you because you are not in Canada, but most of them will accept you. So BC and Ontario, for that one I have it, so I can testify for that.
So they are the ones that you recommend that people start from as an international applicant who is a teacher.
Yeah, I have that. So and then you don't do any test. They only assess your credentials, and then
so no examination, just document evaluation. Can you briefly run us through the list of documents that you had to get evaluated?
Yeah. So and then no one should take me on my words because things keep changing.
Things keep changing. Thank you.
Yes. So what you need, the first thing I know that cannot change is your credential evaluation. That is evaluating your transcript from your home country. And then your teaching license, what is called professional standing from whichever country or whichever province you've taught, professional standing. So Ghana now, we have the license office that give teachers license. So you need to get that professional standing. And then you get references from all schools that you've taught. All schools that you've taught, they take references from there. And then the rest will be all the your certificate and then your background, like your biography that you put in the application. But it takes a longer time for it to be assessed. And it's not free, you pay. And then BC, you pay every year, BC and Ontario, every year you pay your dues to maintain your certificate. So though I've held the Ontario certificate for hopefully about 3 years, I paid $200 every year, though I've not had any employment.
You've not used it, but you're still paying just to hold it. So when you lose it, it's another process all over again, right?
Yes.
I see.
That
is that the same fee for British Columbia, $200 a year?
No, British Columbia is going to be, it was $80. They said they will increase it this year.
So it's cheaper. It's cheaper in BC.
Yeah, it's cheaper in BC.
Which evaluation agency organization did you use? Did you use one from Ghana or you had to use one in Canada?
Well, I used the one in Canada,
World Education Services.
That's what I used.
So that is also about $200 to $300 range there, right, for evaluation?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And you said it could take up to a year. So would you recommend that people do it early as they are even outside?
Yeah, you do it early. And then the good part is most of the schools, if they see you've started your application, they can still take you whilst your application is in the process. So that is it.
All right. Now tell us about job in Canada. How did you land a job? Did you get somebody recommending to you, or you also watching videos or researching? And tell us about that, your job in Canada, first job.
Yeah, so that is researching. So in BC, they have what they call Make a Future. It's a job just like Indeed, so that they go and put their vacancies there, and then you apply to. And at times too, they have this thing, job fairs that you can attend online, and then you have the chance to talk with the employers. So that was where I had all the job that I've had in Canada. Actually, after I started searching, every year I get jobs, but you still need some documentation to go through immigration. So it's very good. So just go and start. That one trick is you can apply for the job, but for the job fair, and that helps a lot because you get a chance to meet them one-on-one, talk with them on video call and do stuff. But if you're outside Canada, it doesn't allow you to apply to attend for a job fair. So what you do is you just lie that you are in Canada. Yeah, it will open the way for you to have that job. But you can still apply whilst you are outside. And then yeah, it's just like Indeed, you build up your resume, your portal and everything. So you just click apply, and then your document just go to the employer. They review and then they get back to you.
Okay, so if I get a job, if I apply and I get a job, my certification with West is also going through well, and I have the two. Do I also have to go through a PMP like you did with Ontario or BC, or I can also try using it to do the work permit application using the LMI? What would you recommend here? Give you a I know you've talked about it already, but for somebody who hasn't gone to the US, want to try this from, say, outside of Northern America, what would you recommend they do?
Okay, so you can use the PMP or Express Entry or LMIA, or they have LMIA exempt. LMIA exempt. That was the actual one I used to get I got my first work permit, because the PMP takes a longer time. And, schools too, they deal with time. So I don't have to wait and then get a PMP work permit before I come. So I had a visitor visa to Canada, so I just flew in, and then we did a flag pull on LMIA exempt using the India Act. So this is something that some of the schools are eligible, especially those First Nation schools or smaller community schools. They are eligible, but they don't know. So you, the applicant, most of the time you have to educate them on it. Let them know it's possible that this could be done. And then at times you even go, I remember I have to go to RCC website, download documents, screenshot, send to employer, like proving to them that it's possible you can do this. So at times you have to do that if they don't have any idea about it. And even at times you have to sacrifice and let them know if I need to even hire an immigration lawyer to assist you. I'm ready to do that. Let them know.
You are very proactive. You are very proactive. You know why? I kind of like what you said right now. There was a student who just graduated and was looking for a certain type of document from the employer here in Canada, so he can use it to do his permanent resident application. Now the employer said, "Oh, I'm not sure that can be done." The employer was sure that it's not possible, but this student has watched videos and knows it's possible. So the student had to go and get the information and go and show to the employer that this is actually on IRCC's website. So it is possible that your employer may not know a lot about the immigration trends. You may know better. What he's saying is that so long as you believe that it is possible, I believe you can use wisdom, communicate politely, and if possible, use the services of professionals like maybe an immigration consultant or a lawyer who can even put this in a better context for you and your employer so that you can facilitate. He also said something about the Indian Act and how he used a job that is LMI exempt route to actually come into Canada. Of course, he came as a visitor's visa first and then utilize that particular option, because remember he said he did the LMI one first and he wasn't successful. So he had to now change his game to an LMI exempt job type. But he said something about the Indian Act. I want him to briefly touch on that. However, if you guys want to get more details, since I don't want to be the one you accuse for giving you a 2-hour video that burn your data, we're going to keep it short. And you're going to go to his channel. You're going to follow him. You're going to ask him all the questions there. And you take his time to explain to you, okay? Tell us briefly about that. The LMI exempt through the Indian Act. I understand it, but I want you to explain to people how exactly you did it in 1 minute, if you don't mind.
Okay, so what that means is you don't require LMIA. So they have that act that you request for what they call job offer number from the IRCC. So the employer have to request that. And I think they pay, is it $120 or $200? I've forgotten the exact amount. And then they request that and they can get it within 48 hours. So what they do is the employer have to do that, and then you need to guide them if you have to. They write that they need you, they need your service. They don't have anybody. So just like the LMIA, but that is not difficult like the LMIA. So they just explain your job description and like everything about you and why they need you. The employer signs and then send it to IRCC to request for job offer number. And that get it within 48 hours. So after they've gotten that, then meaning you are exempted from LMIA. So if you turn in your work permit application, we are not looking at LMIA, we're just looking at your credentials. Do you qualify to do this job in Canada? If you qualify, then they don't have any objection to refuse you unless they see something that they have to investigate or something like that.
Okay, so you got the document, LMI exemption, the job offer, and you did a flag pole. Which of the borders? Did you go to the one by Seattle and Vancouver? Which of the borders did you do?
Yes, I think I went to the specific highway, but...
Okay, all right. Thank you very much there. For those who don't know what LMI, if you've been following me for a long time, you're familiar with these terms. If you are not, we're going to be throwing them every day in your ears like this. It stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment, LMI, Labor Market Impact Assessment. Now, is there anything you'd like to tell us that we haven't covered?
So what I would like to say to the general public, especially we from Africa, is we ought to read more if you really want to travel. Want to read more, watch more videos on travels. Don't say, well, I don't have to watch this. Just watch it. Just listen to, let me put it in quotes, every nonsense we tell you. Just listen to it, read more, and then just push forward. Mm-hmm. It's possible. Nothing is impossible. It's possible you can do it. But if you don't read, one thing I think the general public should know is, like, I know Chorkor, I don't know, you receive thousands of messages every day. So if you are questioning something, just go straight to the point. It's good you call me, you greet me, how are you? It's good, but just go straight to the point and then just say, so don't wait that high for somebody to respond back, hi, how are you? And before you tell me, oh, please, can you assist me with this? Just go straight and then that will help. And then read more. Forget about agents that takes money from you. You can do this with just going to the internet, reading for yourself. If you don't understand anything, just go to the internet, look for Chorkor Millionaire, look for Life App. There are so many others. Just watch some of the videos that have been made there. The information will be there. If you don't understand anything, they are all ready. I just called Chorkor. He responded to me. So if you call him, he'll respond to you. If you call me, I'll respond to you. If you call others, they'll respond to you without any charge. I know some are paying 10,000, 20,000 just to get a visitor's visa, which is ridiculous.
Thank you very much there. Thank you for reaching out as well to me. I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, follow him. You have more questions. Somebody are asking, which sponsors can I use to get? Would you recommend, given what you know now and where you are, would you recommend that somebody also goes through the same process, Ghana or Africa to US and US to Canada, or you rather recommend that it's doable from Africa straight to Canada as a teacher? What would you recommend in a few seconds?
Yeah, I recommend going through the US.
Okay, you recommend that. Okay. And if people want to reach out to you, aside from following you on your channel, is there an email that they can reach you as well? Or what is the easiest way for people to get hold of you?
Yeah, I think the email would be the best, because at times the messages, it even skips me. But for emails, anytime I get there, I see everything. So my email would be the best.
I'm going to put his email in the description box, so make sure you are checking all of that. Appreciate you much. Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua Ansah.